Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity to be here and to share my experience about the impact and challenges of Laudato Si for me as a person, but also for my organization and the work that I do. I work with my friends, my colleagues back in Africa at the Catholic Youth Network for Environmental Sustainability in Africa, which is a platform that as young people we felt we needed to put together to bring our talents and our efforts in responding to the challenges, environmental challenges that we face, especially on the African continent. When I received this invitation to come to speak, the first thing that came to my mind was the memories growing up as a young boy in my hometown, a small town called Njoro in the Rift Valley part of Kenya. And when I looked on the horizon from my house, and I looked at the horizon, all I could see was forest when I was growing up. But then I also remembered seeing lots of trucks carrying logs of wood coming from the forest, going to the timber yards and sawmills in the town, which sustained the local economy at the time. But right now we have a serious crisis of water, but also food, because a lot of agriculture depends on the rains. And so because of the loss of this enormous forest complex, we have a lot of challenges now in terms of water, agriculture, and basically even at our house, getting piped water was a challenge. And so many times I often had to go with jerrycans of 20-liter water jerrycans to the nearest water point to fetch water, distances of between 2 and 3 kilometers each time. My hometown is also very close to the world-famous Lake Nakuru, which is known for its flamingos. And because of the pollution in the town, in the industry, in the nearby areas, and the pollution of the rivers that feed into this lake, we are losing a lot of this beautiful biodiversity, these flamingo birds, but also many of the animals, many of the wildlife that are sustained by this lake. And so, as young people, we felt that we need to do something. As you know, in terms of population, Africa is one of the youngest continents. Many of the African countries, majority of the population are young people under 35. And so we felt that we need to do something about the challenges that affect us. Basically, we need to stop agonizing and start organizing. And this is what, through our network, we seek to do, to organize ourselves, to respond and to do something. And I remember watching the presentation of Laudato Si online on June 18th, as Cardinal Turkson presented the document. And one of the things that I was looking for to listen and to read when I received the document were references that the Holy Father was making in terms of youth and Africa. And I wasn't disappointed. In paragraph 13, I found the paragraph where the Holy Father reminds us that young people demand change, and they wonder how anyone can claim to be responding to the environmental crisis without thinking of the environmental issues and the sufferings of the excluded. And this is what we as young people now in Africa are doing, not only demanding, but organizing ourselves to be able to do something about it by studying this document, Laudato Si, and discovering how it calls us to respond and to build platforms across the continent, to work together, to share the different experiences of challenges that we experience in the different communities where we are, which in many cases are similar, but are also different depending on where we are. But using the different channels that we have at our disposal as young people, social media especially, to build these networks and to build this common solidarity of young Africans committed to making a difference and to ensure that our continent can also contribute in terms of the environmental health of the planet and to make this earth a better place for all of us. Those who live here now as young people, because we are here in this moment, but also the ones who will inherit many of these challenges in the future, but also be able to leverage on this youthful population that we have through education and through inspiring them to be able to live for a better world right now, but also in the future. I was also particularly pleased to note and excited to note that Laudato Si also opens channels for dialogue across different population. So the issue of intergenerational solidarity comes in very strongly. In Africa, we have a saying that the people who, what young people can see from the top of a tree, the elderly can see from sitting down. And so we also rely on the wisdom of our elders to be able to move forward and to be able to take care of our common home. Thank you very much.